Hello, everyone. This is Sam Ryan Hidari with another episode of Sex, Lies, and Lawyers. Today we have another very good guest. Odalys Carmona is a good friend of mine in Vegas community that has been around for a long time. Let's talk to Odie today. Okay. Hey.
Hi.
How are you? Good
I am
afternoon,
fine.
and welcome to the show today.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you. And tell me about yourself a little bit as to how long you have been in Vegas.
Well, I moved to Vegas in 1982. I've been married to my beautiful, gorgeous, good-looking husband for 41 years. And we
Wow.
have a daughter. We have two gorgeous little grandkids. And then, of course, we have a great nephew in George Carmona. And, you know, our other nephew plays for San Jose State. So for 41 years, I've been here in Las Vegas. I started my career in the casinos. I started at the Mint Hotel and Casino back in the day when the Mint 400 used to be ran out of the Fremont.
Wow, at that time.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then I went to the Desert Inn. And my first day at the Desert Inn, I was so excited because I used to watch the Dantana show, Vegas. I walked the entire casino during my lunch hour just to see, oh my God, this is where they filmed this.
What brought you actually to Vegas?
My husband. Our families were next door neighbors in Cuba. Our moms were pregnant together in Cuba, okay?
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was born in April and he was born in July of 61. To make a long story short, in 1981, his mom took him and his brother to a trip in Miami just to see the old family. You know, they were getting to be big, and it might have been the last trip that she can take with the big boys
Before the
together.
revolution.
Way before the
Before
revolution, because we left in 67, and my husband's family, Kiki, left in 1970. They came to Vegas because his father was in gaming in Cuba. So it was the automatic. And back in the influx of the 1970s, a lot of those people that were in gaming came to Vegas. So that, you know, they just had to learn the language. They knew the games. So it was an automatic for a lot of those political refugees during the 70s. Yeah.
That's interesting. And you said that one of your cousins or nephews they're working for San Jose?
Yeah, no, they
play
play
for,
for San
Jose,
Jose.
yes.
Yeah, Junior Carmona. Yeah, he plays
Oh,
football.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
so we're proud of that. you
Okay,
know?
so tell me about your history. Where did you started your career, actually?
Well, the career
in Vegas.
Actually after the casinos, I went into the state and I went into consumer affairs. Consumer affairs back in the day was the agency for the state that investigated all fraud investigations.
It's a part of the AG's office?
Well, now it is, but what happened is that the agency used to handle all the complaints and then disseminate them to the proper areas. So if you had a problem with a construction company, a pool company, let's say,
It was a freestanding organization,
exactly,
not supervised
it was
by
an agency.
anyone.
No, it was an agency through the state. It was supervised.
But it was supervised by which department, actually?
Well, business and
AG?
industry.
Business and industry, okay.
Correct. So then the case is that if you saw fraudulent enough, then those cases were referred to the Attorney General's office. Back in the day, it was, my God, what it was called? Where they used to send those flyers where, oh, you can buy land for, $15,000 and you own an island type thing. Telemarketers. That was the big thing. So I worked in the unit, and since I spoke Spanish, I used to go undercover a lot, for car repairs. That was another huge thing back in the day, car repairs, where they said, oh yeah, we changed the oil, but they didn't. So we worked closely, consumer affairs worked closely with like DMV to prep cars and stuff like that. And you actually went to a business and, they made sure after you got back, they checked and everything else. And yeah, it was really interesting. But the agency
any
closed.
memories of those days, any of those cases that you investigated,
Well,
any of them that were interesting?
The ones that really always I'm like, why? Were the door-to-door solicitations. Now, door-to-door solicitations is anyone that knocks on your door, or anytime you sign a contract that's away from the place of business. So let's say you're buying, the biggest ones were door-to-door pots and pans. So they'd go around, of course, to the minority neighborhoods and sell these pots and pans for, a couple $1,000s. I'm like, are you kidding? And then they kept paying and paying and paying. It was like a never-endless thing. But by law, anytime that you have a door-to-door solicitation or you're signing a contract anywhere away from the actual place of business, it falls under that. And they have to give you a 3-day resigned right to resign. So they have to give you a little piece of paper where it says
Any kind of the sale, even the services, or it's
any service.
merchandise?
It's usually merchandise, but also services. If you've repaired your computer or
The solar system that they are, you see that a lot of them knock at your door and say, we do the solar,
exactly.
actually. They walk
Those,
in.
if they don't give you, when they, when you go through the paperwork,
Mm-hmm.
you have to have that 3 day. You have the right
Grace period to cancel the
exactly, to
contract because
cancel.
they were approached, solicited the business from them
Exact-
rather than going to their
And
place
those
of
are
business.
and those are the biggest ones. Those are the biggest frauds. Of course, and nowadays it's all digital.
Did you busted any group that they
No,
were doing
I
get big
again,
and
I
want
was
to make a referral
no,
to the AG's
no,
office?
No, usually it was a team effort, so they kind of gathered. Then it went to the chief, and the chief dealt with the attorney general's office.
Any interesting situation that you remember that that was outrageous or it was crazy?
Well, one of them was this was in the early 90s. It was Sunrise Hospital. And that's how the Office for Hospital Advocate came about, because they started looking into auditing. And I'm talking many moons ago, so please don't have Sunrise Hospital
Sunrise
come back.
Hospital to come back.
Exactly.
But it was at
But you
what
can
year?
Google it. You can Google it back in the day, and the charging system was really off. So they
They were
audited.
fake charging, for example?
Well, it
or
wasn't fake charging as much as I think it was more of the like overcharging, like every needle, every Band-Aid, every piece of cotton. You know what I'm saying? It was like
that it
that's
should not
so-
have been in the
or not
separate charging,
or
actually. It was a
or-
part of the service code, actually.
exactly, or something to that effect. So
Unbundling
actually,
the code instead of the bundling them as to the one code, actually, to charge for the entire thing under one code, that you're charging on the several codes. And when was it?
I was there in 1992, 93,
Wow.
94. So that was many moons ago. And it was also back in the day when
It was a
wasn't
referral to the
computerized.
AGs, actually, at that
It was,
time?
yeah, it went to the AG's office.
started
Yeah,
investigation
yeah.
and filed a
And then
lawsuit.
from there, that's how the the Office of Hospital Patients came around, which is, and I don't know, I have to check to see if it's even still there, part of the governor's office. But it actually reported to the governor's office, and that was the agency that, or the unit that actually took care of any complaints against hospitals and doctors and that sort of thing. And they reviewed your medical bills for you. They helped you. It's a free service.
Wow, interesting.
know?
That's interesting. And what kind of, usually it was that minority communities, actually, they were preyed on more than the other one?
But the
or
thing
it
is,
was-
the bottom line is that it's minorities going to minorities.
Mm-hmm.
Because how is the best way to sell a product better than speaking the language?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So it was one of those things. But they've stopped a lot of that now too, because most people are buying online. And anybody who has a computer nowadays prefers Amazon, because it's free delivery, it's cheaper, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't see, other than the solars maybe, and even now they probably
not
don't, they're
selling
not
anymore. You don't
selling
see them.
anymore. So a lot of products back in the day that was, sellable
That's
are
interesting.
not, like the Avon lady. You don't see an Avon lady knocking on your door. They usually, now it's a network, you
Wow.
know?
I see that you're wearing a jacket for the Rebels, UNLV, my alumni, actually.
So am I. So am
I
I.
graduated from Boyd, actually. So,
Greenspan College of Urban Affairs.
oh, okay. So you were employed by UNLV as well?
Yes, yes.
Okay, what
As-
your role
I
in UNLV?
worked there as the event manager for the foundation. The best job, the funnest job I ever had. I did all the events. So for instance, all the dinners at the donor's house, the dinners at the big foundation dinner at the Bellagio. I did the boxes for the football and the basketball for President Harder back in the day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, you got to meet a lot of people, and I just love events. I love it.
You are
it's-
still cooperating with UNLV?
well, I actually do, because I still have a lot of friends there. Like, for instance, Dr. Nicole Hudson, she does workforce development over there. So we've been talking a lot from where I do now is workforce development and youth programs. And I met her through a committee that I used to staff, which was the Displaced Homemaker Committee. So through those, small pockets, you start meeting different people in the community. And then from there, then you start meeting other people. And before you know it, it's a network.
So always you were as a public employee, actually, public servant. actually.
Exactly, a public servant,
Oh,
a
okay.
public servant.
And when did you retire? Are you retired?
2 days. I retired. My
Wow,
first day of retirement was
congratulations.
February 1st.
And who was your last employer in this?
Well,
thing?
it was employment training and rehab.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
so-
that's a tough job, actually. I
Yep.
know that's a lot of effort and is rewarding as well. So tell me about your retirement plan.
Well, my retirement plan really is, I don't have any right now. I woke up yesterday for the first time and took my dog to the groomers on a Wednesday at
What
10
about
a.m.
being a TikTok or the
I don't know how.
Instagram personality?
Getting her there. Getting her there. We're
It's-
getting her there, Sam.
I don't have social media. Okay, I do Facebook, but I can't remember the password and I couldn't tell you what it was. I went on to Instagram just to follow, the kiddos type thing and that sort of thing, but I got tired of that too because, I don't know how to really do it, so I don't do anything. And again, I'm boisterous, I'm opinionated, and sometimes, you read things and you cringe and you're like, "Argh." So it's like, why get my blood pressure up?
You were born in here or in Cuba?
No, I was born in Cuba.
That's
I was
okay.
born in Cuba.
So, and tell me about the actually your entire employment in Vegas. How did you find that actually interesting as a city? Because a lot of people, they don't think that Vegas is a
Well,
place to live,
let me-
or it's for gambling only, or there's no lifestyle.
Let me just-
That's the thing. We have a huge community actually, especially the
huge-
Hispanic community. There
Yes.
is a 1/3 is Hispanic or more possibly.
Well,
if
you've
you-
got the Puerto Rican Association, you've got the Nicaraguan Association, and they kind of broken away because before it was like one huge, but they have enough where they do their own thing. But no, when I came here, I came from Miami. I graduated from Miami. And, Miami in 1979, I'm
What was
driving.
your major?
No,
Your major.
No, I graduated here in Vegas, but I went to school, high school.
Oh, high school.
High school in Miami.
yes.
So 1979 in Miami, we had freeways and, that sort of thing. So when I came here in 82, we lived on the east side on Tropicana off of Nellis, right? And I was like, why isn't there a freeway entrance like right here? Why do I have to drive all the way to Las Vegas Boulevard? So when they opened that freeway that, you now
ramp.
can get up on Flamingo and I was ecstatic. It was like, oh my God, this is great. Finally.
What was the population at that time? When
I
you moved
couldn't even tell you, but I know that it was
Possibly
probably up in the
million,
millions.
A million.
Yeah.
Right now it's at 3 million almost.
Yeah. So,
approximately.
yeah, because we grew, right? The 90s was the big growth spur
Growth,
for
yeah.
the state.
What
you
was
know?
what was the cause of it?
Well, I think the cause was the trying of diversifying businesses. It was a big push, especially workforce development. The word itself has only been spoken about like in the last 10 or 15 years, and that came due to the stimulus in 2009 during the crash.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so before that, our casinos were pumping. You know what I'm saying? So everybody wanted to come here because you made better money, you made good tips. The cost of living was, a lot cheaper than any of our sister states around us.
still is cheaper.
And it's still cheaper.
Quality of life is better.
Exactly. So all of a sudden now, the casinos are growing as well. The shows are getting bigger. The productions are getting bigger. Now computers are coming in the system.
It's changing the nature of the money making. It's entertainment versus the casino. Actually,
Exactly.
the casinos is shifting toward the entertainment.
And that opened a
And
lot
the
of
football, basketball, baseball possibly is coming,
Yeah.
and the NBA, and
Yeah.
possibly let's see how it
exactly.
goes.
So all that opens up new jobs, new training. Now you have to know how to do the stage. You have to know how to do the lighting. So all that is part of new jobs available, and people know that. And it's like, hey, let me go get my certification in stage lighting, and boom, let me move to Vegas and find a job.
So how you were involved in the Hispanic community
In the-
during the lifetime that you lived
Well,
here?
at Consumer Affairs, I did a lot of workshops.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, how to become consumer savvy. Saber lo que. Wait, let me translate it correctly. Saber lo que es un consumidor. In other words, know what a consumer is, what your rights are.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a lot of workshops over at Help Us Southern Nevada, United Way, because we did it for free. Back in the day, it was all
And who were attending? The public?
Hispanics. Yeah, it was free.
Is educational free workshops actually for
Exactly,
them not
exactly.
to learn their rights as a consumer.
Exactly. How to buy a car, how to look, what to look for in a contract, how to rent an apartment. What are your rights? Where do you go if your tenant is kicking you
Being
out?
not discriminated based on the
Exactly.
being Latino or something,
or
the
whatever the
credit.
case may be, or just anybody really. You have your rights, whether you're black, white, Hispanic. You have your rights, and you should know what your rights are. Especially, if you don't have that much.
It was well attended at that time.
Well, when we had again, this is 1993, 94, before social media. So it was all based on flyers and talking to other organizations that had participants that were in the program.
That
were,
was the only means of the communication
exactly.
workshop.
But when we
and-
had 20 or 25 people attend, we were excited. That was 25 more that we educated and 25 less that'll be
they
cheated
can be a
down the
messenger
way.
to
Exactly.
take the message to other people that they talked
Exactly.
about it. Actually.
And most importantly is the youth programs. I've mentored a lot of young people in my days. I love sharing my knowledge and my information, because if I would have known back then what I know now, oh my goodness, who knows what I could have become. But it's always, not knowing, the parents not knowing. Our parents did the best they could, and they did a one hell of a job coming to a country without the language and getting to work and putting food on our table, a roof over our heads, and getting us to school. And that's why we came, was to better. And I've bettered my mom, and my daughter has bettered me. So we've done our job as a third generation Cuban American family. But we have to
what
educate.
your daughter is doing.
She's a teacher. I'm very proud to say, Nikki's got 2 masters. So
Wow, great.
yeah.
From UNLV?
Yeah, well, no. No. She
That's
ran,
not
she,
good.
no, she ran with the pack.
Okay.
She went to UNR.
UNR.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it was like, but she went. So the
went and
bottom
she
line.
came back?
Yeah, she came back.
Okay, that's
and she's
good.
giving back
Okay.
to the community as well. So,
So she's teaching private school or the?
Slam Charter Academy.
Oh, Slam
yeah.
Charter
All
Academy,
actually, our family are all educators, except for Gail, my sister-in-law, and myself. That we've done something different than educate. You know what I'm saying? She's in business, but I did state government, and I do a lot of did a lot of youth programming, workforce development, especially in our youth, workforce readiness camps. That sort of thing, that you see that the same issues we talked about 20 years ago with our kids, it's 20 years later, but now you double impacted with the COVID that came, and with, YouTube and all the stuff you have, how do you get these kids off of that and getting trained to go to work someday?
So why you are not doing the workshops online as to the Hispanic community and educate them on the show or something?
Again,
That's going
online?
to reach a lot of people, or with the Instagram.
Did you not just hear me that I have no idea on social media?
But
I'm lucky I know how to do my phone
George
and send
can
those
help
cute
you.
emojis. Now, there you go. George
George
can.
Gonna
can.
happen.
It's funny you say that, because I actually have 8-week workshop broken down every week, because I used to do a youth program for students, and I used to have them work 32 hours a week, Monday through Thursday, and Friday was the educational day. So we went through how to have a checking account, how to open it, what the responsibilities are, et cetera, et
So
cetera.
that's a good idea, because we are in the Hispanic community as well, because I have a specific brand for Hispanic community, abogadosconexperiencia.com. That is
Abogados
for
con experiencia
we are the
punto-
lawyers, actually. We're trying to brand it in the, actually promote it and educate. Possibly we can help you actually to promote actually those educational
Yes.
views on our podcast for the avocados as well.
Definitely.
That's
Whatever
a
I can
good
help
thing, yes.
the studio with,
Each
it's our
time you
pleasure.
can just educate the community as to different stuff. Because I'm Persian, I came here in 2008. I went to UNLV only for law school, 2008, and then I started after that my own firm, and I clerked for the judge here actually.
What judge?
Judge Scan.
Oh, okay.
29 passed away, and I worked with other judges during that time, and then I started litigation, and then I opened up my own firm after 2 years of practice.
That's good.
With other people. So we will be in touch, and
Definitely.
great, and possibly we can help you. You can help us.
Definitely.
That's it, definitely.
Anything we can do.
Thank you very much for
right.
coming on the show,
It's
and we
been
will
a
be in
pleasure.
touch. Thank you.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, that's a really